Yeah, I was like, Mom, I smoke crack. She was like, they still do that?
Welcome to The Recovery Idiot. Please like and subscribe and visit therecoveryidiot.com. The following contains explicit language and situations that some might find unsettling. Viewer discretion is advised.
Love that soft, that hard, that boy, that girl, that girl, that cat. My mama raised a crackhead, 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 crackhead. Love that soft, that hard, that boy, that girl, that girl, that cat. My mama raised a crackhead, crackhead, crackhead. My mama did good when she raised me, adopted me, encouraged me, and praised me. Told me to dream big when I laid my head. When it was time for bed, never dreamed I'd grow up to be a crackhead. Get the liquor, give me bags of dope, pills and caps, arms are skinny, full of tracks. Pawn grandma's jewelry, get a rack. Call the plug back, I need my crack. I cheat on my girl, hit up a chick at the Jack Shack. I get sober, I relapse, I come back, overdose again. It's so I hip hop the car, I've done that. Smoking rock with no AC, got a halfway hoe right next to me. I know this is bad, but I know what to do. I hit a rehab and a detox or two. I landed banging, I've been there a few times. Now my new knot's pointed at you. Did I remind you that I am a Jew? Love that soft, that hard, that boy, that girl, that girl, that cat. My mama raised a crackhead, 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 crackhead. Love that soft, that hard, that boy, that girl, that girl, that cat. My mama raised a crackhead, 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 crackhead.
I mean, I was just like, take a Xanax, hang out, chill.
My name is Leroy, recovered alcoholic addict, and today I'm here with my good friend Daniel.
My name is Daniel, and I am also a recovered alcoholic addict as well.
And we go back a bit. I'd say, what, a couple years?
Yeah.
Has it been that long?
I'd say about two years.
When we first met, you were living at Artesian.
Yeah.
And I was your sponsor. What brought you to Artesian?
I had this problem. I don't know if you know about this. I don't know if you'll understand, but I had a debilitating crack and fentanyl habit.
Crack, and that's the bad stuff.
Yeah.
Crack and fentanyl, not just one.
You should have seen the look on my mother's face.
I never thought about that. Like, I know my mom had to tell people, like, my son's a piece of garbage, but there was one day when it probably hit her, like, I raised a boy that does heroin and cocaine.
Yeah, I was like, Mom, I smoke crack. She was like, they still do that? It's like, yes, Mom, very much so. They smoke crack.
You came along very well, and I always said that you just have this like personality and this like aura around you, that you have the ability to either be like the brightest shining star in the recovery community or have the most epic disaster meltdown that is imaginable. You kind of pick both.
Both.
Yes.
Both, yeah.
So what exactly happened on your little detour last time?
I'm like biggest Molotov cocktail. Propensity to burn shit to the fucking ground. I had a chance to do this podcast before. It was a lot of fun. It was, in the beginning stages, like things were really good. But, I did a lot of things that I probably shouldn't have done. My mom wants the link to this. Absolutely not.
We take all the viewers we can get.
Yeah. Mom and Dad, shameless plug. Hi, how are you? You raised a crackhead. So pretty much I think the deal is if you're not growing spiritually, then you're not growing at all. And if you don't do the work properly that's outlined and then follow up by living it, then you're going to find yourself in a very disastrous position.
But you were doing the work.
Yeah.
And you were living that life.
Yeah, but I wasn't. I was, but I wasn't. So, I took a lot of time to, cheat on my ex-girlfriend with hookers, and I spent a lot of time, not sponsoring people. I spent a lot of time not being honest with people. Cliche by us, you can't be clean and dirty at the same time, type of deal.
I tried really hard to prove that you could. I love shoplifting. And my first sponsor in 2007 said, you can't shoplift and stay sober. And I said, I'll show you. And I went shoplifting. Yeah. And eventually at a Bell's in Jacksonville, I snorted some morphine in the bathroom after you're sober. But hey, eventually you realize all the AA people were right.
I think the thing about it is a lot of people like us have to learn by touching the stove. Like
it's not even that. Some people will get burned and learn from it. We get burned and think, well, that wasn't that bad.
Yeah, like that wasn't that hot.
I can probably get burned again, maybe.
A couple more times.
And it's not until you have that 3rd-degree burn and you're sitting in ICU and you're getting skin grafts that you're like, maybe this is too far.
Well, what I'm like super grateful for is like my like relapse that brought me in now. It could have been a lot worse. It was pretty bad, like let's, no mistake about it, but it wasn't long. You know what I mean? It wasn't just like I lost everything, but I didn't lose everything. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Like I definitely had to start over, but like the older you get, the longer you stay in the program, the more you have like belly full of AA, you know what I mean? It's
a head full of AA and a belly full of
liquor. It just doesn't work. Whatever that fucking saying is, who cares?
But it's true. So that's why.
Yeah. I mean, all that stuff is true. That's the thing. It doesn't work. So like those relapses aren't very long, But for me, it's like I feel like today I'm able to make mistakes, but mistakes are only mistakes if you make them once and you don't make them again. Like you learn from them. I don't have to go out and like get fucked up and throw away my time to learn from a mistake, I'm sure we'll get into this more throughout the podcast, like what it is now from what it was before.
Well, I definitely believe you learned a lot this time. I don't encourage people to relapse, but a lot of people do.
They do.
And if you remember all the stuff from before, fortunately, it's a learning experience.
Yeah.
And hopefully it registers in your head that, it gets worse, never better. Oh, I can't control it. Oh, one is never enough. All those things, you think, I could try it.
No, dude, I was sitting in a house with no air conditioning, smoking crack with a girl from Artesian, thinking to myself, oh my fucking God, dude, I got to get out of here. This is horrible. This is the worst thing I could have ever done. And I did. I treatment hopped for like a month and a half.
I remember several messages from several different places. When I would finally find out which one you're at a new one.
Yeah. I did that for a month and a half, and I was just like, I hit a wall, and I was just like, you know what? This isn't good. You know what to do. And that's the funny thing is, like, I did. I knew what to do. I don't recommend this for anybody, but I went and I checked into a place. Banyan, Stewart, shameless plug. Been there 5 fucking times. Unbelievable. 5 times. I went in there, and I stayed there for, like, 2 weeks, and I AMA'd. And I remember that, and I AMA'd, and I walked to fellowship, and I got a ride to a car, and I went to this halfway house. Don't ever go to I went to a very shady halfway house.
It's known locally as a place where
the owner
if you pay rent,
girls.
Like if you pay rent, you can stay there. I have not met many people that are successful that have come from that place, but hey, it's a place.
It's a place.
It works for some people.
Yeah, if you like cockroaches running on the floor, then it's your place.
Some people are used to that. That was the thing about the detox hopping. Like, I know there's people that do that. I've never done it. I've never been detox. I might love it if I did, so maybe that's why I don't understand. But when I see people going from detox to detox and over again, knowing if I get drunk or if I get high, I'm going to end up there again, and they're going to strip me down, take my clothes. I'm going to go sleep in a room for a couple of days, pumped up on drugs. I'm going to be basically incarcerated into this detox center.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you're on drugs, so you really don't care, but that sounds horrible to me.
Well, I mean, I think the problem that we run into today, and I can only speak for this because, like, I work in that field, the safety net aspect of detox. If I walk into a place and they do my laundry and it's 5-star meals and I can go smoke whenever I want, and it's like walking into the Taj Mahal and I'm out there on the streets, ooh, wow, if I relapse, I could just go back there. And that's one of the giant problems.
Yes.
It's not a safety net. Like, treatment centers and rehab should not be used, or detoxes should not be used as a safety net. That's why you see the people there 15, 16, 17 times, or they hop from one place to another, because it's like, why should I get my life together when I can just go to these places and these people will take care of me? It's like that mentality is what people don't understand, is like when you become incarcerated and you spend too much time in jail or prison,
institutionalized.
you become institutionalized. Well, people don't understand.
Detox-institutionalized?
You can become institutionalized to treatment centers and detox.
Detox-institutionalized.
Yeah, institutionally detoxified.
A lot of those places I go for service commitments, detoxes, and even the halfway houses, the sober living, there's doesn't seem to be a very strong emphasis on work a program, work the steps, or you're fucked.
I think it's just depending on where you go and how they're based and what they do. And I mean, I think that's a giant problem, is like, so if detoxes and rehabs and halfway houses work, they wouldn't need to bring in 12-step, right? So, like, you know, they bring in 12-step meetings to these places because, like, at some point in time, like, triggers and warnings and dialectical behavioral therapy, that's all good. That's great stuff, you know? But, like, when rubber meets the road, that shit does not work for an alcoholic addict like me. It just doesn't. So they bring in these 12-step groups, right? AA, DAA, whatever. No, they never showed up for their commitments. You know, the thing is they bring them in because, you know, if what they really had worked, then they wouldn't need to do that. You know, and I mean, every time, you know, I'm really grateful we're in an area that has so many treatment centers that come to you know, the places we have our meetings because we tell them the things that they don't want to hear.
Yes. I would, if I ran a detox, first thing I would do is give everyone a big book.
Yeah.
And explain, like this chapter called The Doctor's Opinion. It will explain why you do what you do and what you need to do to stop it. But you raised some points about the therapy and stuff like that because I don't think I had those type of issues. I have tons of issues, but like I didn't need like trauma therapy or to talk about my relationship with my dad. Maybe that does work for people. But
I mean, I believe it does. I mean, like, you know, it does work, you know, getting to like some of the root of like her problem. But like, you know, for me, I don't care how you grew up. I don't care if you were beat every day or if you grew up with a fucking golden spoon in your mouth. That's not the reason why you are the way you are. And like, so yeah, therapy helps if you're a hard drinker, you know, or you know, some of the things they'll teach you about, you know, mind over matter, blah, 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 whatever the fuck they teach, you know, that'll work for them. That'll work for the not real alcoholic. I mean, that's my belief. It's like I crossed a line. You know, like I crossed a line where, like, I've been to 25 different treatment centers. Well, maybe more now because of the last relapse. So maybe like 30 plus treatment centers, right? Okay, and if I've been to all these treatment centers with all these therapists, with all these different people, with all these different classes, and none of it worked. Did I learn about like anger management and how not to walk through the world and punch people in the face? Yeah, absolutely. But did I deal with any of my real issues? No. It wasn't until I came to the rooms and I got a sponsor and I did the work and I talked about the stuff that I did to other people was I able to see like my ways. And some people just want to come in and drink the coffee and then leave, and that's okay. But if I just plant a little seed in there for them, that's all that really.
That is true. And I guess is the point. It's just I'm currently surrounded by people that go through the therapy, go through the detox, or the halfway house, and still don't get it. That like if you don't work a 12-step program, you're going to drink again.
Yeah.
You're going to get high again. It's guaranteed. Have you been in detox and have lived the rest of your life sober? Please let me know. I'd love to talk to you about it.
Yeah.
But I've never seen it.
Listen, if you went to detox and then maybe you went to like a PHP or a halfway house and then you just went home and you never picked up a drink ever again, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Good for you, but you're not one of us. So don't come into the meeting and fucking try to sponsor people and fucking kill people.
Maybe that is it. I forget that there's some people that aren't as bad as us.
You don't have to be the low bottom alcoholic to like be, you know, an alcoholic. It's in the book, you know, but still, I mean, the fact is if you can come into AA or DAA, love DAA, Port St. Lucie plug. If you can come in and you can just drink the coffee and you can just go to the meeting and you don't get a sponsor and you're just able to go through life on your own with no spiritual help and stay sober, please. Good job. We are proud of you. We really are, but you're not. Yeah, and I think that's a problem. Like, and I don't want to like point this out, but I mean, there's a diluted message in the room sometimes, you know, and there's a reason why things are happening the way that they're happening is because the message, you know, we don't do that. But in some
watering it down.
Yeah, watering in some places that happens. Like I spent a lot of years in AA and I didn't really know that there was a solution until like fucking 5 years ago.
Yeah, I spoke about that last night at the meeting. I had worked the program before and I had been to AA and it wasn't presented to me the way it was in DAA. That the solution that is found in that book that we all read works for drugs too. It just, maybe people told me and I just didn't pick up on it, but you know, it wasn't until I finally went through that book and realized that the real alcoholic is the real drug addict.
It's same, you know, I mean, like, and I think that's why we need a sponsor to, like, take us through the book. Like, there's this new plain language big book. Have you heard of that?
What does that mean?
You guys at World Services are fucking retarded.
Is this the... I don't think we can.
I can say that.
No, but YouTube is going to say...
Oh, can't say retarded. Okay, you guys are mentally disabled. Well, you're just gonna clip
A
this,
couple.
right?
I don't know, because it could be funny to have us trying to think of a different word for retarded.
You guys are terminally unique. The greatest thing about having a sponsor, right, is there's this book. In this book that anytime I read it, I didn't understand it because it was written 80 years ago. And they used language we didn't use, right?
Very complicated. Very big words.
Very big words. So, like, when I sat down with a sponsor, he was able to explain these words to me and go through the book with me and make things make sense, right? Like, in the doctor's opinion, they use a whole bunch of different language, and pretty much it's you need to have a spiritual experience. How do you have that spiritual experience? A psychic change. How do you get that psychic change? By finding a power greater than yourself to produce this psychic change. Like, do you know how many times I read the doctor's opinion and I never read that? Do you know what I mean? Or, I drink essentially because I like the effect produced by alcohol and drugs. So I never saw that when I read it on my own.
After having a book since 2007, it was 2019 that I read that, and that finally made sense.
Made sense, right? Because I was brought through it with another alcoholic. So this plain language big book basically takes all these, takes this verbiage and makes it idiot.
Breaks it down. It's,
you know what I mean? I don't know how to explain.
the big book is an idiot's guide to a relationship with God.
Yeah.
It's a cheat sheet to living a spiritual life, which happens to be the solution to our problem.
Yeah, and no offense, if anybody could just open up the book and understand what it's saying, it takes away.
You're probably smarter than us. So.
Yeah, but they the new big book, not this big book, the redefined version. Then it takes away the whole point. Like, I feel like to having like a sponsor. You know what I mean?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's a revised version of the big book.
Like, are they changing the book?
Yes, yeah. Basically, they changed words. They still have the original printing of the big book, but they made a different printing for people in this generation to understand, like, more common words. Like, I don't know if it's like, yo, you stupid dog.
So, like, instead of rigorous honesty, it says no cap?
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, kind of like that. But I mean, it's just, so there's like, it's ever evolving and changing.
But it shouldn't.
But it shouldn't.
Because it's the original one that started this and saved all those people and changed their lives.
The first 100.
In the past 24 hours, I found out about so many people in my life. And there's people I'm very close to. And if you relapse...
Okay.
I care about you, but you're an idiot. Go fuck yourself. How could you do that? You're a
Yeah.
moron.
Yeah.
Fix yourself or don't. I don't care.
Yeah.
But then there's other people in my life that I'm too close to.
Oh, really?
And
wait, so fuck me if I relapse?
Metaphorically.
Okay.
I'm not going to hang myself eventually if you disappear.
Over me. Well, you shouldn't. Yeah, you shouldn't. But there's some close people that...
Yes, you get too close. Relationships in recovery.
Yeah.
And especially when I've been through it before. Now, several times.
Friendships or relationships?
Relation.
With women.
Yes. Oh, I wish I could be in a relationship with a man. It'd be so much easier.
Yeah, it would be.
Like, my hat's off to people that...
Are gay for the stay.
No, everyone does that. I'm talking about in real life. A real relationship.
Okay.
No, it's hard because, I want to hurt the person physically. I have done all of this for you. I have saved you so many times, and this is what you do. You don't cry for help. You just go do it. Like, you know better, but you did it anyway.
Oh,
so
really?
I want to, catch a serious charge.
Yeah. Yeah, batter somebody.
But as an alcoholic, I have to realize that these are sick people and that I was once as sick as them. And that there's things in this person's life that they obviously have not got honest about with somebody yet.
Yep.
And their connection with God is not as strong as they once thought it was. Because if it was, this wouldn't have happened.
They got this amazing thing. I love this little app I got on my phone, right? Because it brings me everybody. It says, this was our course. We realized that people who had wronged us spiritually sick, though we did not like their symptoms in the way these disturbed them, they, like ourselves, were sick too. We asked God to help us show them the same tolerance, pity, and patience that we would cheerfully grant a sick friend. When a person offended, we said to ourselves, this is a sick man or woman. How can I be helpful to him or her? God save me from being angry. I will be done. I didn't even realize I was there.
I want to be angry right now.
Yeah.
I want to say some horrible things and make this person cry, possibly get them Baker acted. And I know with the right words I can do that.
Yeah. Oh, same. Been
But at the same time, I'm supposed to represent this program. And I'm supposed to be better than the person who would do that. And it's really, really hurts.
Yeah.
Because we've had this discussion before.
Yeah.
I told you why I live the way I do.
Yeah.
Separated because I got too close at one time and I got burned. So I learned. Yeah. Now it's, sort of long distance, but still,
getting burned.
She has the ability to burn me.
And I think that's why separate people sometimes, like live a little farther away, because if we have that person, can you imagine if that person was constantly in your life, like with you 24/7 and that happened?
That would be a charge.
Yeah, dude.
Absolutely, something would have gone down.
Yeah.
You look at either side. Maybe that wouldn't have happened if she was here. Maybe.
But who knows?
But also, what if it happened here and cops showed up and they just run my name and doesn't matter what happens, I'm gone. We have an acquaintance in the rooms that happened to him. He got locked up because banging one girl and his ex-girlfriend came over and they fought. And the cops came and just seen him and arrested him.
No way. Really? I don't fight people anymore. I just shoot.
That's related.
I'm just saying.
No, one of the things I'm proudest about is it's been 5 years since I've been in a fight, since I actually hit somebody.
Nice.
I had my hands around someone's neck in the wellness center at Artesian.
Did you?
I was close, but my roommate broke it up. But that's technically the last time I
put your hand. Yeah.
Yes. So I've done really good at controlling my anger and playing the tape through, because anger is just like addiction.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things, it's real funny because, I used to be such an angry person. Bro, growing up, I would throw fucking Tonka trucks through the wall at my house.
The big yellow dump truck
yeah, dude. I had holes in my walls. I was just, violent, outrageous, angry person. And, it's so funny because I find myself put in situations today, right, where I'm like, oh, bitch, I will fucking strangle you. But that thought doesn't produce anger anymore. Does that make sense?
Yes, but mine currently does.
Yeah, no, of course, each situation is situational. It's just real weird for me. Things annoy me, but I haven't had anything happen to somebody, super close to me to where, where I would be that angry, but I'm sure that day will come. But it just shows your spiritual fitness. Somebody told me something really awesome. My sponsor said, Daniel, you don't know how spiritually fit you until you have to be spiritual, because we don't know. I practice. I say I'm spiritually fit.
So now I have to prove that I am. I can't
but
hunt this person down and
you're doing,
cut him into pieces.
No, you're doing that right now. Just because you're upset doesn't mean you're not practicing spiritual fitness. And I mean that's the thing, because if your knee-jerk reaction is to go over there and commit first-degree intentional homicide, and you're not, then that's showing a form of spiritual fitness. It's just maybe you want to show more, but I think that's progress over anything.
I'm talking to this person.
Yeah.
I know what's going on.
Okay.
I know it's been going on at least a couple of days, but
yeah.
So I can just tell. I can sense it. I can hear it. And I'm texting, and I'm waiting for you to respond. And you didn't come last week.
Yeah,
and, that one time you disappeared to smoke crack with girls from Artesian. Remember that time? Yeah. So I'm always like, yeah, he might make it, or he might be in a hotel. Finally, I get the confession, and I say, I know. So this is the part where I'm going to start.
Yeah.
You selfish, self-centered, blah 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 blah. And as I start my rant, you responded.
Yeah.
And now I want to lash out, but I can't, because now you showed up. And now I'm still angry, saying some angry things, but I'm also trying to, control myself. And then you popped up again. And then you asked me to come pick you up. As it's like, I'm going to get in the car and two things are going to happen. I'm going to go there and do something bad, or I'm going to come pick you up.
Yeah. Do you remember in the meeting last night when I shared it, and I was like, God puts people in my life at certain points of time to show me something, but I might not understand. But in order to see it, I have to have my eyes open, and I'm not saying I'm God. I'm just saying maybe being placed in a position at a certain point in time at that moment, texting you to come do this, was that.
Oh, no, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's crazy.
And today I went and helped my boss on a day off just to be nice. And I go and help my boss who's been in the program, and I think today's his 15 or 16 year anniversary. And I got to be with him while I have this drama going on in the background. And then you show up.
Yeah.
And if I was alone, dealing with this situation?
Oh, I'd be on the phone. I'll kill you.
Oh, it's
Come
not
on.
I'd be in person.
Oh, in person.
God does put people in your lives the second you need them. And that happens to me all the time. And just like you said, you don't realize it till you're looking back sometimes. Like, I always look back at my last arrest, how, like, that was the lowest part of my life, but it was also where I started building the foundation to the life I have today. Like, you look back at these horrible things, and it becomes something to improve or something to grow off or something to learn. I'm just in the early stages of dealing with this catastrophe.
Yeah.
So hopefully in a couple weeks, I look back and say, remember that time you fucked and burned your life down? But hey,
yeah,
just a little slip, perhaps. You don't forget everything you learned before, but obviously it's time to do something different, and you need to try harder. Person who I'm referring to. But I thank you for being one of God's soldiers and appearing today, because it was very important.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the deal is...
That's actually what the program's about.
Exactly. I show up when I'm asked. Like, we might be doing a podcast, but this podcast is service work. It's giving out to somebody who maybe isn't in our area that turns us on and watches it, you know?
The entire point of doing this thing here, is that when I was an active drug user, I didn't exactly know that the program actually worked. I know people were in programs and got sober, but I didn't really believe it because I didn't think it could work for someone as bad as me. Like, the amount of stuff I was doing, the life I lived, it wasn't like what I thought alcoholics were. So my living amends that my sponsor gave me to live out the rest of my life is trying to explain that the program found in the book of Alcoholics Anonymous can work for drug addicts.
Yeah.
And that's why I spend my time doing this. I don't know a lot of stuff. I'm not very smart. I'm not some big book expert.
No.
But I am someone who recovered from a hopeless state of mind by working the program in that book. And I want to get as many people out there to realize that's possible.
I think that's the thing is like, so like, listen, if you want to have Joanne, soccer mom, on here and, you know, you want her to get the other Joanne, soccer mom, on board, then that's good. I'm all about that, you know, but like me, the message I have, right, for the alcoholic addict that I plan on helping is like that fucking person walking on Kensington Ave.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because that's
the person who may be sleeping in the back of their car.
Yeah.
Eating out of a dumpster.
Yeah, because that's the type of alcoholic drug addict that I am. And like when I share, like I say, you know, my message not be for everybody, but it might be for somebody. That's the person, like, you know, I want to get it. I mean, I want to get everybody who needs
but
help.
Specifically the black sheep of the black sheep.
Yeah.
That's what I want. That kid who showed up at the meeting last night that hadn't showered in 3 weeks, who was missing all his teeth.
Oh, yeah.
That's the type of kid that I need to tell, hey, man.
The guy that came in who still looked like he was detoxing.
Because I think he was.
I think he was. Are you talking about old polo shirt, Blowout McGee? Yeah, dude. Holy shit. I've seen white stripes on the road darker than that kid. You know what I mean? Like, but that's the kind of person that I want. You know what I mean? And you know, I want to be all inclusive, and that's the point. But you know, my story is not the story for the person that still lives in their $1 million mansion that has way too many mimosas and who goes to the country club. That's not the person I'll be able to reach. And like, I'm not trying to push that person out of the room by my story. My story is my story. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of the people that we deal with in our community, right? Okay. And like, we're blessed to be in the recovery community we're in because it's Port St. Lucie, Florida. It's not very big, but we have more treatment centers and PHPs and halfway houses in our little area than you know, we should.
Multiple places that have meetings every day.
Exactly. So like, you know, the fact is, like, now for us nowadays, the 26-year-old, 30-year-old kid, and I don't mean kid, but they're grown up, but that you know, 26-year-old has been homeless, walking the streets, eating out of dumpsters, and been in worse positions than most people know. And like, those are the people that were, you know, that my story gets, you know, and it's real funny because like my first sponsee, you know, like it was great because, you know, you introduced me to do chips at the meeting. Remember that? And it was like, oh, here's my ex crackhead hooking banger ex sponsee Daniel or whatever. And I went up there and I did the chips and I had some 20-year-old kid come up to me and goes, "That's me." Are you sponsoring somebody? No, man, I got you. You need a sponsor. You see how, you know, everything's specific, you know, for each person.
When I spoke at Fellowship Friday, I said, when I do service commitments, I read why are we here?
Yeah.
And it says that some of us did not truly think we were alcoholics because we have mental problems or used other substances. However, when examining our past, we found that we could not drink safely. Boom, that's me. Because 1, mental problems.
Yep.
2, other substances.
Yeah.
But when I look back, yeah, I'm a drug addict. But it all started with alcohol.
Yeah.
And if I were to sit down and drink a beer now, I'm going to be overdosed and crash in my car later, no matter what.
I think for me, like, AA is what worked, right? Those steps that were in that book, how it all began is what worked for me. Like, look, I'm not putting down other fellowships, you know what I mean? Even though I want to. For me, like, I smoke crack. I shoot fucking any kind of opiate that you can get your hands on, right? You know what I mean? I've done every single drug that's possibly out there except the new one. But the fact is, like, you know, I've found my sobriety in AA. I'm not a big drinker. I never was.
No.
Okay? Let's make that perfectly clear. I wasn't. But there's something that I knew. I knew that as soon as I took a drink, I was going to see the dope. So I am an alcoholic,
Who
right?
cannot drink safely.
Who cannot
Absolutely.
drink safely, because as soon as I put one in my body, I'm going over to the other guy. It'll take me to places that I don't want to go. And I remember I was on like drug court. I turned like a 1-year drug court to 3 years because I couldn't stop getting fucked up. I was like, dude, I could just drink on this stuff. And I was in this like the den in my house back in Fort Lauderdale, and I was like drinking schnapps, dude, like with the golden flakes in it. Just
Goldschlager?
Goldschlager. Yeah, dude, I was just drinking Goldschlager. And this is the thing. You want to know the funny thing about it? I was drinking for no other reason but for the effect.
No, that sounds like what someone else is going through right now.
Yeah. And
I feel horrible, so I want to feel better by doing something that'll eventually make me feel horrible.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I found this, and that's the thing. I mean, it's AA has changed. DAA is new to me. I love it because I can talk about drugs and I can work out of the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous. We didn't have DAA where I'm from in Fort Myers, so like I love this. I think it needs to be in more places.
Yes, you're very blessed.
You know, we are for me to find DAA up here. I am super blessed, but I mean the fact is, it's like it's changed. Bill talks about it in a grapevine from the 70s, where he said he walked into a meeting and there's all these young people with their hippie beads and their swaying hair and mini skirts. He said, I must take these people out to lunch, right? And then he talked about how these young teens or early 20s back in the 60s or whatever it was were like, he was like, they've recovered from many other things that were not alcohol related, and they're the face of AA, you know, and we read that because we want people to know that just because this is AA does not, if you raise your hand in a meeting that we go to, that and be like, who here just drinks alcohol?
I did that Friday. I said, is there anyone here who hasn't done drugs? Nobody raised their hand.
Yeah, and I mean, like, we're not trying to, like, push away the person that does drink. That's not the deal. Come on in. But just know that, like, we have singleness of purpose, but the person who's shooting fentanyl and smoking crack could be sitting in that AA meeting from a treatment center, and you won't hear the message unless it's authentic, okay, and holds depth and weight. And I am not going to change my story just because of a meeting that I am in. Sorry. If you don't like it, call your fucking sponsor or talk to God, because I don't care.
That's a good philosophy, and that's why I don't get asked to go to fellowship anymore. I love being able to say, I told you so. I love it. And it's not right, but I enjoy it, because when I tell somebody, if you do A and then you do B, you're going to end up with C. And they argue with me and they try to do something different, then really bad things happen and they eventually get to C.
Yeah.
I like saying, I told you so, even though it's not right.
No,
that's my ego,
okay.
That's my pride, all that shit. I get it. But I told this person, if, you know, you don't go to meetings, you don't get a sponsor, you just half-ass, you know, limp along what you're doing great right now. But eventually it'll burn down.
Yeah, like they know better, but they don't. You know what I mean? It's like
you're in it for the wrong reason.
Wrong reasons. Can you call it a relapse?
Yeah.
Can you call it a relapse if you weren't working a program?
Now do what I've been telling you to do the whole time. Do what the other people who succeeded do.
Except
go to those meetings, get a sponsor, because obviously there's part of this program you're not getting, because if you did, you wouldn't be in this position again. No matter what mental illness and crazy meds you're on, anything like that, if you have that connection with God by working your steps with a sponsor, you're not going to relapse.
Yeah.
So enough about that. I should be better than taking pride in saying I told you so, but you're one of those people.
Yeah,
I told you, and I only told you because I did the same thing.
Yeah.
That if you do A, just say it. If you get with a girl, it's going to probably end bad, and you got with a girl, and it probably ended bad. And this time,
you were there, then it ended bad.
Yes, and
you were there.
Again, I didn't want you to suffer, but I also enjoyed saying I told you so. That felt good, but
I think we all have that sense of pride, though.
Okay.
We're, when we're right and we know we're right, and then we affirm that we're right. Of course, we want to be like, yeah, well, I fucking told you so. And I mean, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It's not, because it's sometimes somebody needs to go to you and be like, bro, I fucking told you. Won't you fucking listen? I know what I'm talking. And that's not, to me, it can be misconstrued as an ego pride thing. But at the same time, we are people who have, in the beginning.
We hear also sick people.
Yeah. But no, in the beginning of the book, it says, we hope that, what's written in this paraphrasing, we hope that's written in this book, there's no more further authentication that's needed. You know what I mean? To go out, if you read what we have in this book, you should hope this is enough for you not to go back out and do it. You know what I mean? But it's you're a person who has done it, right? And then you're telling me your message, which has depth and weight, and you're telling me, right, dude, this is what's going to happen, and I do it. Of course, you should be able to come back and be like, so how did that work out for you? Do you know what I mean? It's that same thing. It's I told you so, and how did that work out for you is pretty much the same thing. And I mean, you were my sponsor at the time, right? So saying, I told you so, is like saying, hey, how did that work out for you?
Remember, I need to do that again with a different person. But the thing is, with this,
yeah,
I don't want to say how that worked out for you. I want to say, I'm going to fucking cut your fucking head off, and I'm going to fucking hide the body, and I can't believe it. I'm going to fucking...
Yeah. It's different when you have different emotion vested in the relationship.
So you got sober, got into a relationship.
Yeah.
It failed miserably. It took you out. You came back, and I said, you're going to meet a girl.
Yeah.
And you're going to leave with that girl.
Yeah.
And you said, I'm not going to do that. I'm on a sabbatical.
Yeah, I was for a little bit. For a couple months.
But then you met a girl.
I did.
But this girl is different. And trust me, I'm one of those people.
No, I know.
This is different. I got a different one, you know. I've done this before. I know what I'm doing. I'm keeping it at arm's length, but still I'm doing something I shouldn't do.
Yeah.
And you're doing the same thing you shouldn't do, but this person is, I don't want to give her credit. Because, I don't dislike her.
Yeah.
But she's got the potential to, ruin your life. So I don't want to be too friendly with her.
And I have the potential to ruin her life.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
But I think the thing is, when I look at Courtney, right? Whatever. She's there. I'm going to say her name. She's probably...
yeah, she's not watching us.
Yeah. So, when I met that girl, right? Okay, she had no interest in this program, right? She had no interest in becoming a better person and growing in her spiritual fitness and growing in any sort of way, right? So there's a girl that has never lived life who I cheated on, right? All the time with prostitutes, right? Okay. And who we both lived in sober living. And that we know that whole relationship was a sham because as soon as she got on a plane and went home, I never heard from her again. Right?
And she got drunk before she got on a plane.
And she got drunk before she got on a plane. And what was so funny about this one is, I said, I was like, man, I'm not going to get into a relationship. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do this, right? You know what I mean? I think the thing was, with Courtney, I was actively, looking for something to fill a void. You know what I mean? And this time I wasn't actively looking for something to fill a void. I was working my steps. I met this girl who I didn't even, you know what I mean? I didn't even know she liked me. You know what I mean? I was just going to meeting, and just doing my own thing. So there was no intent, and it just so happened that she wanted to change and she worked her steps and now she sponsors other women. I worked steps. I wanted to get better. I sponsor other men, and it's just
it's the best possible decision out of all the bad decisions.
Bad decision. Yeah, and I love her. She's
a
pain in the fucking ass sometimes.
Yes.
And I'm a pain in the ass sometimes too. I can only imagine living with Daniel.
I'm perfect. I'm perfect.
Oh,
and
are
I'm
you?
an angel. So, like, this girl has no reason to complain because, I'm amazing. I'm a handful, probably.
Yeah, and like that's the thing is like I know like I can be a lot sometimes, and so like it's so funny because it's like when you get into relationships, it seems like it's all good and dandy if you can live with the things you like about, but can you live with my character?
No.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
I tried.
You know what I mean? So and that's the thing. It's like, can you grow? I mean, if a person like, and it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm not perfect, but like I'm very much so like having a very amazing time in my life right now, and I think that's the thing is like things have happened to me, right, where I didn't insert myself and try to control the show. Very much just happened. I moved jobs and careers, and when I went to apply for my new job, I didn't lie, I didn't bullshit, I was very honest with them, and it just kind of floated into place. I didn't have to insert my will into that. And I think that's like one of the things like is like if I just get out of the way and I don't insert my will, those are when I know things are happening in God's will and not mine. You know what I mean?
It's the last time you were trying to run everything.
Yeah, I was trying to run the whole fucking show.
Since the last time I seen you, there's not a lot of people left. I mean,
No.
There's some people that actually worked their steps. One got into a relationship immediately, and they're both gone.
Oh, yeah. Wait, no, that one other. Are you talking about your old one?
That's about Thomas.
Oh, Thomas.
I don't want to say his name.
No, that's okay.
As I would talk to that person and say, don't make any big decisions until you work your steps. Don't move out until you work your steps. He was with the person that was like Courtney and was just here.
Yeah.
That's it. Was just here. So obviously that didn't work. Well, it's working, just not in a good way. I'm using the experience to prove a point and kind of make fun of the person. But yes.
Fuck you for judging me, bro. When I came back, dude, making me feel like shit about my relapse when your whole fucking life was a lie.
Apparently,
we don't
know the truth.
No, we don't. But funny that
your girlfriend told everybody your whole life was a lie. But that's the person you're going to marry. But
hey, good job. Nice.
So
Let's
somebody
edit this out so we don't.
Yeah, I'm waiting for something good to come out.
Oh, everything that comes out's a zinger, bro. Like, I mean, I think that's the thing. Like, look, I love all your other interviews. Right? Fair. But like when I come on this, that's a good thing.
Yes, because you kind of saved somebody's life today just by showing up.
Yeah, and I didn't even know. So that's
actually too, because I'm the one that would be locked up if I didn't do a very dramatic suicide by cop or something.
Yeah,
but
God, please help me help somebody.
Yes, that's what I always say. I'm not the type of person to go up in meetings and like introduce myself and like ask somebody their life story or try to talk to them. I'm shy. I get anxious. Like I got other things going on. I'm not very smart. But if I can sit down and record something and make a little song that explains somebody recovering from the same disease, and I can try to spread a message and someone can show this and have them watch it, well, that's my way of trying to help somebody.
And that's
I'm trying.
Yeah, I mean,
unfortunately, the people I want to help the most keep fucking up. So my other friend, he had 7 years, was real close to a bunch of us. There was like an original crew of us.
Yeah.
And one of them went out a while ago. He's back, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But this guy went out, got a DUI, made a scene, broke stuff at the police station or the jail, caught some charges, got bailed out. That was his third DUI, by the way. He just got another DUI, used his van as a weapon that he wasn't supposed to be driving, ran somebody over, left the scene, and then apparently tried to hit the cop or did hit the cop. And now he's looking at, I think, 9 felonies.
Oh, you mean the one that was
the real big guy?
Yeah. Victor's also locked up, the redhead, crooked neck.
Victor's locked up, but now his brother has all these charges.
God
so,
damn.
You see these people and the potential they have when they're sober and the people they are when they're sober. And then as soon as they put a chemical in their substance, they're just other person. And it hurt because I see the good in these people and I spend time with them and I have a relationship with the sober person. And then when they do what they do, when this monster comes out, I want to judge and I want to hurt, but I got to remember the stupid prayer you just read.
Yeah.
That these are sick people. Who's to say one day I don't find myself in that position? I would hope somebody tries to help me.
This is going to sound
gay, fucked up. Or...
No, I don't get close with too many people in the rooms, just like either. But a lot of time it's because the what happened to people. So I I pick and friend a certain way. And I know that might sound too good or all-inclusive.
But it's more, that's reality.
It's for my own mental health. There was something I was told, is like, Daniel, when you come in stepping over dead bodies all day, and if I know and I'm close with every single fucking person in the room, that's a lot of dead people, and I'm going to be awfully hurt by all of this, and I don't want to subjugate myself to those kinds of things. And also, it was told funny, Brian, somebody told me, they were like, damn, and I was like, nah, dude, I got thinking a whole group of people here, you know what I mean, like at Artesian, and like we're all gonna do this together forever, and that was not true.
Yes, and I'm in that position right now where it is hurting me. And the first couple, I remember specifically the first guy I lived at Blake's with who died. I was a wreck. Like, I couldn't work. I was crying so much. I couldn't believe it. It was such a shock. Like, I was destroyed. Then the second one was like, well, because we weren't close. And then the third one, oh my God, I love this guy. And it was out of nowhere. The other one, it could happen anytime. But really, I'm at the point now that
it just doesn't bother you.
And that sucks.
Yeah, it does. But I mean, you lose 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, and then pretty much you're desensitized to what happened.
But it also sucks as a whole because it gives all the drug addicts a bad reputation. Which, don't get me wrong, we have a bad reputation anyway, but this is probably why we get looked down upon, the old timers and super AA people, because they're like, that guy won't be around in a year. That guy won't be around in a month. Yeah. These are garbage people. Who cares about that?
Well, and I mean, I think that's the problem is like, the stuff that we take into our body kills, right? Okay, but the stuff that certainly don't die from that. They die.
Cirrhosis of the liver.
But you know what? The funny thing about both the alcoholic and the drug addict, which to me is equal. Like, you could put drug addict here, you could put alcoholic here, right? And just put an equal sign. Because they're both the fucking same.
Yes,
okay, they're both the same. In either obituaries, for the drug addict who dies from an overdose or the alcoholic that dies from cirrhosis of the liver, never in their obituaries do they put, my son died accidental drug overdose because he was a fentanyl addict, and this is what happened. Nobody puts in the obituary, my father was a fucking debilitating alcoholic who died from cirrhosis of the liver. So, you know what? Some people might put certain people's down, but their obituaries are always the same. And guess what, man? Like, the emotion and feelings from whether you smoke crack or drink alcohol, they're the same. And that's how I look at that. Like, when people like try to put down people for certain substances, I just drink. I don't
stick a needle in my arm.
I don't stick a needle in my arm. Yeah, but do you wake up hopelessly depressed, irritable, restless, discontented? Yeah.
Yes, the misery is equal also. The mental obsession is equal. That's the thing I don't understand. We should be trying to help anybody who's sick and suffering, no matter what they're sick and suffering for. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a recovery.
There's a purpose for all of this.
You want to know something that really pissed me off?
What?
Somebody I know was doing very well and had a, hardline AA sponsor, and the sponsor told him taking his meds wasn't sober. So he stopped taking his meds, and within days relapsed.
We have no monopoly on God, and neither do we have a monopoly on medical,
It specifically says on one of these pages, or it might be in the 12 and 12, that says that we are not doctors. And we have no place to, make those decisions. And it's true. And luckily this person survived, because that's just insane to tell someone they're not sober because they're taking medication that keeps them alive and sane.
But that is actually a great segue. On that note of sponsorship, I have a job as a sponsor, right? This is what it is. It's my job to take you through the work, not you, but to take my sponsor through the work, get their hand in God's hand, and then send them out to help another alcoholic. That's my job. For these sponsors, right? Okay, some of them, that want to micromanage their sponsees, tell them who they should date, tell them what they should do, tell them, what medications they should take. You can't do this, you can't do that. Let's just remember something. That's not in the fucking book. You're trying to play God. We have a very specific job, and these are what I call watered down sponsors. Okay, sponsors who are so egotistical, right? Okay, that they want to control their sponsees. Like, look at my fucking flock of pigeons. Look at my girls. These are my girls. These are my women. No, the fuck they're not. Those are fucking God's women. These are my guys. These are this is my crew of sponsees. No, that's not. Those are God's sponsees. Those are God's men. You know what I mean? And that's something I've run into and I've seen.
And where are those people now that had those crews?
I don't know, and neither do I care, because
you don't care about the ones that judged you and are now going to spend the rest of their life in prison?
No, I don't. I feel empathy and sorrow for people like that now, like, because I know that I have a job, and my job was that somebody gave me something so freely, took the time to sit down with, to put my hand in God's hand, right? So they helped put my hand in a higher power's hand, right? Okay, and then sent me on my way to help other alcoholics, right? Okay, didn't tell me what to do. My sponsor has never told me what to do. Do you know that? He has made some suggestions, not even suggestions. There are no, actually, he really hasn't. You know what I mean? It's very subtle.
Well, you also know this time what you're supposed to do.
Like, it's more in a conversational type of way. But like, I don't have a monopoly. Like, I don't. If they need me, they'll call me. If they want to do the work, they'll call me. You know what I mean? Because like, and this might sound fucked, but at the end of the day, you want what I have, and I'm gonna help you put God's hand in your hand, and then I'm going to send you on your way to help another alcoholic, and we're going to get through this work together. And then because that's one of the things that I very upfront. Are you willing to give back what's so freely given to you when we are done here? Are you going to sponsor people? And if they say, I don't know, no, I'm not going to sponsor. Because how selfish to come in the room, drink the coffee, try to fuck the women, right? Sit there, share a good little share, right? You know what I'm talking about? You remember John?
Hey!
Whatever, dude. Greatest shares I've ever heard, bro. Some of the gangster shares I ever heard. Now look at him. He's pointing guns in people's faces and robbing drug dealers.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
He's locked out.
Well, he was.
Oh, okay.
He was. It packed. But
no, yes, but he's officially game over.
Yeah, but what I'm just making a
good
point that, like, man, like, that's it.
Look at where they are now.
And
don't get me wrong, there's some people that are horrible like that and last a long time and are still at fellowship in the corner judging everybody. But normally, those people, they act that way for a reason, because there's something not complete in them, and they usually end up going back out.
Yeah, and this is the thing. I was probably used as an example to certain.
Absolutely. You use an example all the time.
Yeah.
Jesus, so don't be like Daniel. Look what he did.
Yeah, so if I want to fucking use somebody else as an example, god damn it, I fucking will.
And now you're using an example in another way. Like, look what this moron did.
Yeah.
Look how bad he got, and he came back, and look at him now.
Yeah.
So
it's like,
you can go both ways.
It's like, what's that?
Just like when you're in bed.
It's true that. Gay for the stay. So it's like dude, it's like one of those like redemption movies. You know what I mean?
That was supposed to be the name of this episode. Daniel's Redemption.
Yeah, it's like one of those Disney movies. Do
you want a Disney-like song?
No, please don't. It's like, you know what I mean? They show up, and then they do this, and then they get kicked down to the bottom of the barrel, and then they come back stronger than ever. I mean, for me, my past greatest asset, and I had to do some. I feel like that relapse was necessary for where I am today. Like, and that's not like materialistic thing, right? Okay, those things just happen to come with certain things, but like, I pray and meditate every day, right? I try to help somebody every day. I have sponsees, right? Some work with me, some I'm just sponsored by name, but yeah, man, like, I'm in the book with guys, right? You know what I mean? I got a guy rocking out on a 4-step right now, like, so here are all these things that I'm doing, and because like I've gotten out of my own way, I've been able to further my career. I've been able to move out of halfway. I don't have to live in halfway anymore. I don't have to live with 8 other men. You know what I mean? Like, I'm able to show up when I'm asked, right, or needed. I'm able to be there for my parents. I have a relationship with Ryan, my brother, who's also in the rooms, right, here, got sober here. I'm granted all these wonderful things because...
But you had to fuck up to find
But I had to fuck up to find that out.
Let's see, it's a beautiful thing about you, because people have seen it. Nobody knows anything about me. Nobody knows how bad I was and what I turned into. That's why I get to use you as an example.
Yeah, we all know how...
Nobody has a clue, actually.
Dude, I take one look at you and I knew it right away. But that's the thing. Nobody knows because of the fact that you've built up your life. Like, other people, like, I don't know. I couldn't picture Gio's fat fucking ass fucking out there running the streets. Fucking.
He was not. He was extremely underweight when he was.
Yeah, I know. But I couldn't imagine him out there. I love you, Gio. I couldn't imagine him out there fucking doing the things that he did, like he did. And now look where he's at. It's same for like all the people I care about in the rooms. You know what I mean? I only see the people they are now. You know, and I mean like. That's what it's like. Shows me some hope.
That is, as Tom says, the experience you must not miss.
Yeah.
So
Tom drank. But I love him. I love him nonetheless. I've loved him.
There's a couple people out there that need some help, maybe need a push in the right direction. I can't specifically think of a couple of them. And I think I'm too emotionally involved right now to give a good pep talk. But what would you say to somebody who has been through this program before, hasn't done it all the way, maybe believes in God, but is not doing the work to strengthen that connection? What positive affirmations and advice would you have for someone like that?
So first of all, I think the scariest thing for a person who genuinely thinks inside of them that they've been through this program and relapsed and that this won't work for me, right? You're wrong. You didn't do the program correctly, because if you continued to do the program correctly, you wouldn't be in that situation. And then you start thinking to yourself, well, AA or DAA doesn't work for me. And the fact is, I needed to stop, take a look at the things that I've done, and I needed to get honest. And I needed to come back in and be honest. I needed to cast away all the things I thought I knew about my sobriety, about AA, about God. I had to push that all out and start fresh. And I think that's the thing. And it says on, when you pick up a medallion, you've picked up a couple of those, right? What does it say on the back? It says, "To thy own self be true," right? And I think that's a great statement, because you know the truth. I know the truth. If I left something off, if I wasn't praying and meditating every day, if I wasn't being honest,
if you're hiding
something, if you're not being rigorously honest, I won't know. You'll know. And you'll find out the effects of doing those things. So for anybody who is having difficulty, keeps coming in and out, who has been in multiple times, who has said, I've heard a lot of people tell me, since I've worked in the, treatment centers and detoxes and admissions, hey, have you worked a program? I did. Yeah. And what happened? I didn't finish my A step, or I didn't. No, so you haven't worked a program. So you haven't. You didn't do it. You know what I mean? So, I mean, my biggest thing is, like, just do it. I mean, what's the harm? There's always going to be a dope dealer or ABC liquor, right? That's not going to fucking change. So it's like, what's the harm of coming in? Be completely and utterly, thoroughly honest, right? Okay? And just get out of your own way. You know what I mean? If you do those things, like, you're going to be in a lot better place than if you don't. And not only that, get a fucking sponsor who actually knows what they're talking about. If a sponsor comes up to you and you come up to them with a big book and say, "I'm ready to do work," and they're like, "Oh, I work out of the 12 and 12. Fire them. Fucking fire them immediately. If you have somebody that tells you to read the doctor's opinion for 30 days and then call me, fire them.
If your sponsor's book doesn't look like this and has been glued back together five times.
Fire them. Absolutely. Because I tell you what, if anybody out there is like me, I had 30 to 60 days from when I left detox to halfway.
Running on your own self-will.
Running on my own self-will before I picked up again. So that's how much time I had to get through my steps. Get somebody who's going to take you through that work.
Quickly, but thoroughly.
Yeah, get a sponsor who stays strapped, bitch. No, don't put that out there, because I don't want anybody to know.
It's funny. That would be a good little YouTube short. Just get a sponsor that stays strapped.
Hell yeah, I actually like that. It's great.
Thanks for watching The Recovery Idiot. Please like and subscribe and visit theircoveridiot.com. And if you haven't worked your steps, you are fucked.